Good evening. This is Making the Case. I'm Yodit. We begin tonight in Louisville, Kentucky, where a jury has found former officer Brett Hankison not guilty on all charges.
Mr. Hankison, this jury has found you not guilty. This court therefore finds that you are not guilty of these charges. You are free to go and your bond will be released.
The ex-Louisville Metro Police detective was charged with 3 counts of felony wanton endangerment after executing a no-knock search warrant, killing Breonna Taylor in the process. Hankison was the only officer charged in connection with the shooting, but none of the charges were related to Breonna's death. Instead, Hankison was tried for firing shots into a neighboring apartment where 3 people lived. With me now is my team of legal experts for reaction and to help unpack all of this, former prosecutors Titus Nichols and Marie Pereira. Thank you to both of you for coming on the show tonight. I appreciate you. Listen, before I get your reactions to this verdict, here's what Kentucky's Attorney General Daniel Cameron said about it in a statement that was released shortly after the verdict, saying, quote, "Today, the jury rendered its decision. We appreciate the hard work of our prosecutors and respect the decision of the jury." I'll reserve my thoughts on Daniel Cameron for another day, but yes, we have to accept the jury's decision, but we don't have to agree with it. Now reaction from you two on the verdict. Did the jury get it right? Titus, to you first.
Unfortunately, the case was hobbled and crippled from the very beginning. The fact that the Attorney General chose to only indict one officer for property damage to a neighboring apartment and not to Breonna Taylor's just demonstrates how much concern the Kentucky Attorney General had in the first place. And unfortunately, the jury gave a decision that because of the fact that they were not to focus on the actual real crime that happened, the murder of Breonna Taylor. It's just an unfortunate verdict for an unfortunate case.
Marie, was this the verdict you expected?
Yes, indeed, it was the verdict that I expected. I expected it because it is the same narrative. Her life didn't matter because of socioeconomic implicit bias that is rampant in the world and in that police department. If Breonna Taylor was a white woman, she would be alive today. Maybe if she had a little more money, a little bit more economic resources and lived in a different neighborhood, she would be alive today. I didn't expect that he would be convicted. He went on the stand, he cried tearfully, and the jury did what they do. They nullified the law and they found him not guilty. I'm not surprised at all.
What do we make of the time it took for the jury to come back with a verdict? Just 3 hours. Titus, were you expecting a longer deliberation?
Unfortunately not. The jury was given a crap case, and so they spent a small amount of time coming to a decision. I mean, at the end of the day, the officer was charged with property damage in a case that involved the unlawful arrest of Mr. Walker and the murder of Breonna Taylor, and yet they're only to decide if he put anyone else in danger by shooting at a neighbor's apartment. You also have the fact that in this case, there were obvious inconsistencies between what the officer testified to and what the other 3 officers testified. The fact that that wasn't enough to spur the jury to find him guilty just demonstrates that they did not see value in this prosecution.
Marie, you mentioned that Hankison took the stand, and yes, he was emotional when he testified in his own defense, showing contrition by apologizing to the neighbors who were in his line of fire and even addressing Breonna Taylor's family. He also admitted mistakes were made, but he only acted in defense of himself and his fellow officers. How much of an impact do you think his testimony had on the verdict?
Clearly, his testimony had impact. Whether or not it was credible is another thing, because he's saying he saw somebody with a shotgun. There was never a shotgun recovered from the apartment. Now, his defense attorney says just the fact that they didn't find a shotgun doesn't mean that one wasn't in there, because apparently they never fully executed the warrant after the debacle of what happened. And they allowed Breonna Taylor's family to go in and get her belongings or straighten out the apartment. So what he's trying to insinuate is there might have been a shotgun in there and her family went and removed it. There might have been contraband in there. So they still assassinated her life even though they took her life and they knew that girl was not a drug dealer, that woman, excuse me, was not a drug dealer and she was not a criminal. But they still insinuated it during their closing argument to say there might have been drugs and guns in her apartment. No one ever went in to look because her family went in there. So what did they do? They went in and they removed the gun and the drugs?
Listen, the prosecution called 26 different witnesses, right, including the victims in the case who could have been killed by Hankison's flying bullets. But it seems a jury was convinced by one witness and one witness alone, and that was Brett Hankison. Titus, you're a former prosecutor. Could the prosecution have done anything different to change today's outcome?
The prosecution could indict a ham sandwich if they chose to. They could have charged him with aggravated assault. They could have charged him with attempted murder, whatever the equivalent is in the state of Kentucky. The fact that they charged him with property damage demonstrates that the Attorney General's office did not find any value in Breonna Taylor's life. And so they hamstrung this case and gave it to a jury when they could have charged him for the actual risk that he put that family in by shooting into their apartment. Simply because he took the stand and apologized doesn't change the fact that he recklessly endangered the lives of innocent people. And Attorney Pereira has a wonderful point when she says that the defense has to assassinate the character of Breonna Taylor in order to defend defendant Hankison. It's an unfortunate trend that you see in a lot of these police-involved shooting cases where it's not enough that the innocent person is killed, their character has to be killed as well.
And she clearly had nothing to do with this trial, so to invoke her name was only to get sympathy from this jury, that alone. Tell me, Marie, your thoughts. Could the prosecution have done anything different to change today's outcome?
I don't think they could have done anything different because the underlying case, they say this was not about Breonna Taylor, but it was. It was about her life and how it didn't matter because of where she lived, because of who she was, because of her color, because of negrophobia, because of implicit bias. Her life never mattered. So you know what? What happened, they charged them with a low level, they charged him with a low level D felony, wanton endangerment, and they had to prove that he manifested extreme indifference to the value of human life by his conduct. Now, shooting into a closed door with a glass across an apartment, not knowing what was on the other side, I don't know how substantial of a risk that poses to anyone. So the fact that he didn't get convicted shows you from the outset the jurors would have never convicted him because they never indicted the people who killed Breonna Taylor, and that set the tone for everything else. He should have been convicted of wanton endangerment because that was an extreme indifference, shooting a gun through a window that had blinds on it and not knowing who was on the other side. But he wasn't because the jury nullified the law. And that's what they did. And you know what? I think the Attorney General nullified the law when he failed to charge them with attempted murder, assault, or anything else. The Attorney General set that tone.
Titus, why do you think that the jury didn't give significant weight to the fact that Brett Hankison was fired from his department for the way he handled that execution of that no-knock warrant, blindly firing his gun at no target at all into the apartment where a man, his wife, his pregnant wife, and their 5-year-old kid was living?
The problem is the fact that the case was charged incorrectly. Charging him only with the D-level felony or the equivalent in Kentucky that they did sent the message to the jury that the prosecution or the government did not want to hold him accountable for the actual crime. So here, the fact that he had been fired, the fact that there had been inconsistencies between his testimony and the testimony of other officers didn't go to the jury's mindset that they were going to acquit him because at the end of the day, if the government didn't care enough for the significant crimes that he committed, why should they? And unfortunately, they chose not to hold him accountable for anything, since the government chose not to hold him accountable for Breonna Taylor's murder.
Many saw this trial as the only chance Breonna's family had at getting even a sliver of accountability for what happened the night she was killed. Two of the officers who were also there decided to take the fifth and not testify. They weren't charged in this case, but there's still an FBI investigation into Breonna's death. But Marie, is there still an avenue for the family to get any of these officers charged for her death?
In my legal opinion, no. Because, like Titus said, the Attorney General set the tone. And he is the boss of everyone. So they're going according to how the vibes he gave off are being executed. That's why the jurors did not convict. And there's nothing else that's going to be done in this case. According to them, they paid her family $12 million in a tort case, and that was that. And you know what? I was doing my research for this segment, and I looked at the amount of money that they paid the family of Justine Ruzick, who was accidentally killed by Officer Mohammed Noor, and they paid her family $20 million. And the way she died, I couldn't even compare it to the way that Breonna Taylor died. So that alone pisses me off.
Titus Nichols, Marie Pereira, thank you so very much for your insight tonight and your time. I appreciate both of you. Thank you.